My name is Amara Chen, and I grew up knowing I was a secret. My mother, Lily Chen, had worked as an executive assistant at Hollis Properties in San Francisco for 6 years in the 1990s. Her boss, David Hollis, was a married man with 2 sons, a mansion in Presidio Heights, and a reputation as one of the most respected real estate developers in California. He was also my father. The affair lasted 3 years. When my mother got pregnant, David gave her $100,000 in cash, asked her to sign an NDA, and suggested she move to another city. She took the money, moved to Sacramento, and raised me alone. She never asked him for another cent. I saw my father exactly 4 times in my life. Once when I was 7, when he showed up at our apartment with a stuffed bear and a guilty expression. Once, when I was 12, at a grocery store, where he pretended not to recognize us. Once, when I graduated high school, and he sent a card with no return address. And once at his funeral, when I stood in the back of the church and watched his real family mourn, a man I never got to know. David Hollis died of a heart attack at 67, leaving behind a $40 million estate, a commercial real estate empire, and 2 sons, Bradley and Todd Hollis, who had been waiting their entire lives to inherit it. The will was read at the family attorney's office on a Thursday morning. I wasn't there, but I heard about it later from someone who was. Everything went to the sons: the business, the properties, the investments, the house in Presidio Heights, the vacation home in Lake Tahoe. Bradley got 60%. Todd got 40%. There was no mention of me. Not a word. Not a dollar. I found out through a Google alert I'd set up years ago, David Hollis Estate, and when I read the news, I felt something complicated. Not surprise, exactly. I'd never expected to be included, but something heavier than disappointment. Grief, maybe, for a relationship that had never existed. 2 weeks later, my phone rang. The caller ID said Martin and Chase, attorneys at law. The voice on the other end belonged to a woman named Patricia Okonkwo, a partner at the firm who had handled David's personal legal matters for 20 years. "Miss Chen," she said, "your father left something for you. It's not in the will. It's separate. Can you come to my office?" I drove to San Francisco the next morning. Patricia's office was on the 23rd floor of a building on Montgomery Street, with views of the Bay Bridge and a desk made of dark wood. She was a tall black woman in her 50s, with a calm, careful manner. She handed me a sealed envelope. "Your father gave me this 5 years ago," she said. "He told me to keep it in my personal safe, not the firm's vault. He said if anything happened to him, I should deliver it directly to you. No one else knows it exists." I opened the envelope. Inside was a letter in David's handwriting. I recognized it from the graduation card and a key. The letter was 3 pages long. I won't read all of it, but the important part said this: "Amara, I have failed you in every way a father can fail a child. I was a coward. I chose my reputation over you. I let you grow up without me because I was afraid of what I would lose. But I've been watching from a distance. I know you graduated from UC Davis with honors. I know you started your own marketing firm. I know you built yourself from nothing without my help, and that makes you more a Hollis than either of your brothers will ever be. I can't undo what I did, but I can make sure you're taken care of." The key in this envelope opens a safe deposit box at Pacific Trust Bank, account number 88,247. The box is in your name. It has been for 5 years. No one but you can access it. What's inside is yours, not from my estate, not from the will. It's separate, it's private, and it's the least I can do. I'm sorry. I hope someday you can forgive me. Your father, David." I sat in Patricia's office and cried for 10 minutes. Then I took the key, drove to Pacific Trust Bank, and opened the box. Inside, I found a cashier's check for $2 million, a deed to a commercial property on Market Street worth approximately $3.5 million, a fully funded investment portfolio valued at $1.8 million, and a second letter, shorter this time, that said, "Use this to build something that matters. I know you will." But there was something else in the box too. A flash drive. I took it home and plugged it into my laptop. It contained audio recordings, conversations between David and his sons, conversations he had secretly recorded. In one, Bradley said, "Dad's getting old. Once he's gone, we'll sell off the properties and liquidate everything. The old man built this empire. Let's enjoy it." In another, Todd laughed about a deal David had spent years negotiating. calling it a sentimental waste of time. In a third, both sons discuss plans to cut their father out of decision making and force him into retirement. David had known exactly who his sons were. He'd left them the business because he had to. The family trust was structured in a way he couldn't fully undo. But he'd made sure his real legacy went to the daughter he'd never claimed. I didn't publicize the recordings. I didn't send them to the press. I didn't even tell Bradley and Todd about the box. But I did let Patricia inform them that David had left separate arrangements for me. The silence from Presidio Heights was deafening. No calls, no accusations, nothing. They knew if they challenged it, the recordings would come out, and their reputations, already fragile in the tight-knit world of San Francisco real estate, would shatter. I used the money to expand my marketing firm. I sold the Market Street property and reinvested the proceeds into a commercial space in downtown Sacramento. I named my new headquarters the Lily Chen Building after my mother, the woman who raised me without help, without complaint, without bitterness. My father's funeral was the last time I saw the Hollis family. But my mother's name is on a building now, and his is just a memory. That's not revenge. That's legacy. If this story made you feel something, tell me in the comments. What would you do if you discovered you had a whole family you never knew? Subscribe for more stories. The ending is always earned.